What do you think is in store for the future of gamification and games as well for market research?
I think it's going to have a growing impact. I think there's going to be more and more of it out there because, again, of the market that we're trying to appeal to.
Right.
The CMO and the chief research officer at Unilever were at ARF a couple of months ago, and they made a point that I think really hits to the core, and that is that the pace of change in research is never going to be as slow as it is now.
Right. That's a very interesting way to.
It's only going to continue to accelerate.
Yes.
And that will include gamification and gaming and whatever the new hot, shiny toy is that probably will get introduced in the next 3 to 6 months.
Right. Okay. And what have you personally and professionally, Bob? What do you think is quite exciting now in the market research industry, or indeed outside of traditional market research? What's exciting you right now?
What's really changing and what's exciting to me is how the industry is changing, and how much it has changed. I mean, 20 years ago, if you wanted to do research, you could knock on the back door of a housewife and do a pencil and paper survey. You could call them on the phone. You could meet them at a mall. You could send them something in the mail. You could do a focus group. That was the way to do it.
Right.
Think today all the touch points that are out there to do research. And it's only going to expand further. So the real task for the research industry and what interests me is how are we going to bring all these together to make some sense of it all?
Right.
Because the client researcher has to understand what's truly going on, and not just with one group or with two groups or with 3 groups, but the entire target audience out there. So if you're Coca-Cola, the target audience is basically the world.
Yeah.
There's almost no segment out there that isn't relevant to you. How do you reach all those people?
Yeah.
It's going to take a very multifaceted effort to do that. Even if you wanted to just throw an online survey out there, it wouldn't work. And they know it, and we know it.
So what's exciting you, I suppose is what you're saying, Bob, is the diversification of different research methods. So in the example of Coca-Cola needing to speak to the world, they wouldn't just use an online survey. Actually, they might use various methods.
They would have to. A different method to reach, different parts of the industrialized world versus the emerging world.
Yes.
A different way to reach young people versus senior citizens versus, people, our age. The diversification, you can go on and on. We can talk for minutes about all these things.
Yeah.
And that's just for that one company. If you're Apple Computer, it's going to be different. If you're a television manufacturer, it's going to be something different. If you're a car manufacturer, and you have to find ways to engage people, to get them to be willing to take the survey, and that is probably step number 1 in your process about which tool to use for which group that you want to get answers from.
So, are you also saying, Bob, that another thing that is quite exciting is that there is so much choice out there right now that there seems to really be a methodology and technique for everybody, whether you're Coca-Cola wanting to speak to millennials or Apple wanting to speak to young business professionals or whatever it might be. Is that what you're saying, that there seems to be sort of something for everybody now in the research toolkit?
Yeah, the choices are there. It's a matter of, will you take the time to find the best choice?
Right.
And the best choice 6 months from now or a year from now might be different from the best choice today. Because things are just continuing to, to basically come into our market. The research industry, the research marketplace is a fascinating area because you can see from the companies and from the people that have come into our industry the potential to make money in our business. And I don't think our industry really thought of ourselves that way. until the last couple of decades. We were very, very focused on doing things in a certain fashion and sticking to the tried and true ways of doing it. And then you had these internet research people who were entrepreneurs who said, you know what? I can make a big buck here.
Right.
And you see that now with all the other research. Think about it. How many of the new research tools and techniques, aside from yourself, have been introduced to the marketplace by someone who truly knows something about research? I don't think it happens very often.
I can't think of any off the top of my head. But I think what is quite nice is that these people that might come, individuals, organisations that are outside of traditional market research, really make great and true and genuine efforts to communicate with the traditional market research industry, and they're speaking at conferences and they're writing papers and they're showing that their value of the research rigour and respecting the research rigour that other researchers need to see in order to sort of be accepted in the circle, which I think is a really great thing and testament to their character. There are a couple of people who I'm not sure if they'd be happy for me to name them in this interview, but there are a couple of people that I've seen really do that. They've come from outside, they don't really know anybody, but they've really made an effort to say, hey, I'm not a threat, but actually there's something that I've thought of that can make the way that you do research a lot faster or smarter or cheaper.